Hey guys, it's Alex with Paragon Performance. Today we're going to be showing you how to install this Verus Engineering UCW wing for the C8 Corvette. This is deck lid mounted, does have CFD testing to prove that it makes real downforce. We have tested this at 150 mile an hour plus at Road America, showing minimal deck lid deflection. Let's get to the install. So we have all the hardware and brackets laid out. Everything is here that comes in the kit minus the actual wing itself. We're gonna do some of the prep work before the install on the bench here. We're gonna go over some of what they provide for you. So we're gonna have the base plates that go to the deck lid. We'll have the uprights that actually hold the wing and mount to these base plates. And then you have the support plate that goes on the underside of the deck lid that supports the base plate for the wing. We also have the 3M gasket that's going to be applied to these base plates just to keep the dirt and water from getting underneath of them. These are going to be the end plates that actually attach to the end of the wing itself. And then we have all the hardware here for the installation. A couple tools that you're going to need. You will need a 1/4 inch ratchet and 10mm socket, a 1/4 inch drill bit, a 2.5, 3, 4, and 5mm Allen wrench, some blue Loctite. We'll go over where we put that as we do the install, and then a drill, of course. For the pre-prep, we're going to basically prep these base plates for installation, install the gasket and the studs. So let's get to that. Turn it over. As you can see, there's holes. These are going to be where the studs go, but we'll want to install the gasket first, so it just makes it easier. This will be applied on here just like so. You will want to put the white side down, as then that leaves the flag for the red side accessible to be able to peel it off a little easier. Suggest just starting and peeling the white backing just part of the way, and then get it centered, placed, and start peeling it back as you go along. Then, as always with double-sided tape, walk over it and make sure it's fully stuck in place. Next thing we're going to do with this plate, we're going to grab the provided studs and we're going to install these in the 5 holes. All right, so on the stud, one end of these has a hole in it that's going to accept an Allen. The other end will not. You will want to make sure that this Allen is actually facing out away from the plate so you can tighten them into place. So we're going to take the stud, keeping track of where the Allen is at. We're going to apply some blue Loctite to the base of the stud, and then we're going to install it into the hole. And then these use the 3mm Allen. They don't need to be wildly tight, however it doesn't hurt to just snug them just a little bit. And we'll repeat that process for the other 4 for this plate. So there you have it. That's how to prep the base plate. We're going to repeat the same process for the other side, and then we'll actually go to the car and get started drilling some holes in our deck lid and getting this put on. All right, so we're going to start here by opening the deck lid. All right, so we've got our support plate here. These are right and left sided, so they will actually only fit one side in one direction. Once you have it correct, it'll fit snug. You'll have a slight flanged lip on these 2 sides, and it will tuck tight against the top and the bottom and this right side here. Same thing for the left side. We're actually going to use this as our drilling template. So once you have that positioned where you want it, you just hold it in place. All right, so we're going to grab our 1/4 inch drill bit. If you have a new one, I suggest using that, as it's going to be less likely to chip or fray the paint on the other side of the car. And you're going to use the holes of this support bracket as your template. The 1/4 inch drill bit fits just about perfect in them. And using light pressure so it doesn't cut through too fast, that'll help prevent some of the splintering on the other side. And just drill it nice and slow. So we've got the 5 holes drilled for the right side here. We're going to repeat the same process for the left side. All right, starting with the plate here that goes on the right side, we're going to line these studs up with the holes that you've drilled in the deck lid. We're going to dry fit this without peeling the tape for now, because if your car is actually ceramic coated, then we're going to tape off around the outside, because we do need to remove that coating from underneath here so this sticks. So carefully line your holes up, and then we'll push it through the body. Depending on how great of a job you did drilling your holes, what I like to do is just take some masking tape, and we're just going to kind of draw a box around the outside of where this is at. Keep in mind, if it's ceramic coated, the tape does not stick super well either, so. But this is just a general idea as far as boundaries and limits. So now we're going to remove it so we can prep the surface. Like that. We need to use some sort of adhesion promoter, alcohol prep pad, something like that, and then just wipe so we can prep the surface. Then follow the instructions for your adhesion promoter or alcohol pad. Alcohol pad, you can pretty much wipe it. Once it's dry, you're ready to go. With the adhesion promoter, you want to wipe it down. It needs to sit for a few minutes. This particular one that we're using says to wait 5 minutes, and then you can adhere your item to it. All right, now we've waited for this side to cure. We went ahead and prepped the other side while we were waiting. Let's get this one put on, and then by the time we're probably done with this, that one will be ready to stick the other side on. With the double-sided tape that we installed earlier, there's a flag here on the side so we can actually pull and peel it. So let's get that peeled off, and we're going to install it. Get our tape out of the way here. Now the support brace that we used earlier to drill the holes in, we're going to go ahead and get that installed. This goes on the underside, and then it's just got some nuts and washers, 10mm nuts and washers that we'll just install onto the studs on this and clamp everything together. All right, so we're going to put the plate back on there. Just remember, they do only go on one way and they only fit one side. Line it up with the studs from the plate that we inserted from the top. You're going to use the large washer and the 10mm nylock nuts. And we're going to get them all 5 of them started here. You grab your 10mm socket and ratchet, and we're just going to tighten these 5 bolts down. No specific order that they need to be tightened in. All right, so we're going to grab one of the uprights here. These uprights are side specific. If you can see the recess in this, this will always point towards the outside. The other side will be flat. So we're going to grab 4 of the 5mm Allen headed screws. We do need to apply a little Loctite to the end of the screws, and then they will thread down through here into the holes here on the upright. Let's get to doing that. All right, so we're gonna take the 4mm Allen headed screws that we have left over. We're gonna pre-install a washer on under the head. We're gonna use this to actually pin and install the wing onto the uprights. And then we'll come back through with a washer and a nylock nut on the backside so we can tighten it down into place. And these will set on the outside of your uprights. And then on here, as you can see, there's a bunch of different holes for adjustments. Verus recommends starting in the second row from the top, clear at the back. That's going to be kind of their medium adjustment for the entire kit. And you just stick it through and it'll line up with a plate or a hole in this other plate. Now we're going to grab our 10mm ratchet and 4mm Allen and tighten them down. Okay, now we're going to tighten down the bolts for the other side of the spoiler. This gap is considered normal. When you tighten it down, it actually creates tension between the plates. It just helps for stability of the spoiler. We're going to start and install the end plate here on the driver's side. On the end plates, you're going to have two holes. You're going to have one single hole and one slotted hole. The slotted hole is on the front side, and it'll go something sort of like so. And then you will adjust this to be parallel with the ground. For the end plates, Verus has supplied some nice hardware to hold the end plates on. They do have a groove in the back and an O-ring. That O-ring sets into that groove. And then you will use these small 2.5mm Allen headed screws, and they will stick through the back, technically the front, and install through the plate into the hole. Keep track of that O-ring so it doesn't fall out of its groove. And then repeat the same thing for the front. And before we tighten them down, let's get them leveled up here with the ground. As you can see, they will pivot back and forth like so. There you have that. You'll repeat the same thing on the other side. I don't recommend putting Loctite on these bolts because of how small they are. Generally, with the smaller Allens, if you ever had to undo them, they tend to strip out if you Loctite them. Just make sure they're comfortably snug, and you're good to go. There you guys have it. It's a pretty simple install. It's a little nerve-wracking drilling the holes in your deck lid, but this is your best deck lid mounted option on the market. It is data tested. Let's go turn some faster lap times. As always, like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you next time.